What's going on, guys? Welcome. I guess I can't say welcome back to the garage. Welcome to the new shop. Yeah, as you can see, there's a lot more space in here compared to the old garage with just space for one car. But yeah, as you can see, we've got 3 cars in here, and currently this thing's on jacks because I got accepted to Slammedenuff Portland 2023, and there's a lot of stuff that I want to do on this thing. But the big one is I really want to get a good trunk setup for the Airlift tank and manifold and compressor, because it's just really been thrown in there. And I usually put the cargo cover up just so people can't see it. But since I'm going to Slammedenuff, I really want to get a, presentable trunk space. So that's what I'm going to be working on today. So I'll take you around to the back. I don't know if you guys have seen this or not, but basically this is what it looks like now. Honestly, it's, I show people this and I'm like, it looks like shit. But people are like, oh, that's pretty clean. But certainly not show worthy. So my plan is to, I'll go back to this. I did have some sort of wood thing like this. So I kind of want to mimic that, but obviously do it better. So I think my plan is going to be to have like a wood floor about flush with this. The top of the tank is going to stick through. The manifold's going to be over here on like a little bracket, and yeah, the lines are going to just go through the wood, kind of like a false floor type thing. And the compressor is going to sit over here. So yeah, I should have all that space in the back there for storage, and that'll be just like wood. I don't want to use vinyl or laminate because I feel like that looks cheesy, but I'm going to use some real wood, I think. Or the other plan was to use a nice piece of plywood and maybe get somebody to do some like wood burning on it. But that all depends. That all depends on how much time I have here. I think it's currently August 17th and Slammedenuff is on September 10th. So I should be able to get something sorted out here, I hope. But yeah, this definitely needs to go. So anyways, let's get the air out of the system and we'll sort of mark stuff and pull this all out. Hopefully a bunch of water doesn't come out of here. Yeah, if you're not aware, these systems make a bunch of water and it ends up in the tank. That's why you need a sort of water separator. Oh! Yeah, there you go. So I've gone ahead and taken everything out basically. Super easy. Just labeled these lines just so they're easy to put back into place. That little board thing, it's basically held in with 3 fasteners. But yeah, what I've done here is I've just removed one of the covers for the evap because most of the wires I've got coming through here. And I think I'll have to change up my plan just a little bit because this is the main plug-in for the manifold and it doesn't quite reach over there. I thought I had some bundled up wire back there, but it seems like this is about it. So I think I'll have to mount the manifold on this side and put the compressor on that side. Not a huge deal. I'll just flip this to this side and put this fitting on the other side. And yeah, should be pretty much it, I think. But yeah, I guess I'll basically just need to, I guess the only thing I'll need to do is just extend these wires. So I'll just, yeah, lengthen these so they reach. But it's a good thing I did decide to take this out, because the wires basically just fell out of these butt connectors here. So, yeah, these ends right here. So I guess at any moment, these could have just come out and this whole thing could have stopped working. So, yeah, good thing that I have decided to take this apart, because I wouldn't have known that. And that would have sucked driving from here to Portland. But yeah, yeah, anyways, I'll just get that cover back on, and then I'll start basically measuring stuff and seeing what I need to do here. Alright guys, so it's another day, and my ideas have changed again for how I'm going to do this. I don't think I'm going to have enough time to get as elaborate as I wanted to with this, but yeah, I think I'm just going to go the easy route and just surface mount everything to a nice piece of wood. And I found this piece of 3/4 inch plywood that's already sort of stained. I'm gonna change the stain here and sand this off to something that matches the wheel a bit more. I actually had this left over from the camping setup in the Xterra, so saved a bit of money there, because plywood is definitely not cheap right now. But basically I'm just gonna take the easy route and just trace out the factory cargo mat thing, and then it should just fit in to place kind of, you know, where it should be. And then I'll just mount this kind of right here on top. I'll put the manifold here and the compressor over there. I think it'll just be, yeah, it'll be a lot easier, and in the future I'll be able to do something a little bit better when I have more time, and stainless hard lines and stuff like that. But yeah, in the interest of time, I'm just gonna take the easy route and do this. Okay, so obviously you just saw that it doesn't fit, and there's really no way that I'm gonna get this in here without cutting it and hinging these up, kind of like the OEM carpeted piece. So I'm thinking I'm just gonna say fuck it and clean the hell out of that original piece. It's actually quite sturdy, and it should also help with a little bit with some vibration dampening, because it's kind of like a foamy type material with some carpet on it, so it actually will look pretty good and sort of match the aesthetic that I'm kind of going with this car, just clean OEM plus-ish. All right, so just placing the tank here. I got my laser level out just to find the center, and I'm pretty sure it's dead smack in the middle. It just looks a little bit off because I think the bulge of the interior panels is bigger on that side. But yeah, I think we should be bang on the money here for center. Yeah, I think I'll just go ahead and secure the tank to the carpet. I should have enough room under there for bolts. I might as well just use the same old bolts, but I think I'll go up instead of down. Well, I'll also have to figure out where the water separator is gonna go because it didn't fit in here with the carpet. So yeah, I'll just need to figure out some way to hide that. Maybe I can run put a, what do you call it there? A rib nut through here and just secure it to that with this P-clamp here. All right guys, so I've gone ahead and mounted the tank to the OEM cargo thing, I guess. And you can see I just used some, actually what are these, like flathead Phillips screws, which one of them did strip out. You can see it right there, which is why I really hate using Phillips. I wish they were Allen key or Allen heads, but for whatever reason, you can't find nice stainless metric bolts in BC, at least where I live. It's all Imperial, so that's all I could get on short notice. But 3 of the 4 are nice and tight, so yeah, this thing is pretty well mounted. So I'll go stick it back in the car and then yeah, see how the compressor fits in there. So right now I'm just debating whether or not I want, well actually no, I think the only way that this is gonna go is like that. Have that up like that. I was thinking maybe like this, but then the wires are out front and that's kind of like that. So I could have it like that, potentially. Kind of have the compressor and the manifold sort of angled in towards the center. Or the other option is kind of have it sitting like that. And then, yeah, kind of outwards. Which I'm sort of leaning towards that way a little bit more. Because then you'll have the manifold kind of like that. Yeah, something like that. And then all the lines sort of, yeah, coming down into this false floor type thing. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at now. I think I'm gonna go with this option rather than the other way. that's gonna line up pretty nice. But yeah, one thing I overlooked for these sort of vibration dampers is the inside diameter of this. It's actually a little bit too big for these machine screws. These are these 10 by 24, I think. So I'll just have to put these in the vise and drill them out just a little bit. They sort of slip on there, but yeah, just a little bit too tight. Okay guys, so we got a bit of progress here. The compressor is mounted onto the sort of carpet thing here with the vibration isolators. I still need to wire it up. I screwed up and I bought the wrong gauge wire, so I'll have to get that tomorrow. Yeah, what I did here is I found this angle and copied it over to this side here. And this lines up with the mount there, so should be able to mount the manifold, something like that. This is just a template that I made real quick. Hopefully it's sturdy enough. The manifold's surprisingly heavy, but yeah, and then I'll sort of trim this back. I'll bend this back and leave a little tab on here, and I'll mount the water separator on the back like that. But as of now, it's sort of looking like that. It's, yeah, this won't flop over as much, but I'm hoping it'll look fairly symmetrical. And yeah, shouldn't be too bad. I bought a benchtop brake off Amazon, so when I cut that out of aluminum, I'll just bolt it down to the bench and bend up I think it's 3 mil thick aluminum. Hopefully it's sturdy enough to hold the manifold and not bounce around, but yeah, not too bad. Alright guys, so I've got this thing cut out, and it actually was kind of a pain in the ass to do because I don't really have a metalworking tool, so I had to file that out. Tried my best to cut that out with the grinder and a cutoff wheel, and then filed the rest. And it's a little bit rough, but I mean, yeah, it'll be dark in the trunk. I think it'll serve its purpose. So yeah, gonna fold this sort of that way. This will be up, and I'll fold this down. And this is where the water separator is gonna mount to. I'll drill a hole in here, and yeah, I'll just have it on the back somewhere. Yeah, over here. So this is the bender, and what's it called? It's the Mighty Mini Bender from Kaka. But yeah, the instructions say, or the manual says, it only does up to 17 gauge steel. And this is quite a bit thicker, so I was worried that it wasn't going to bend it, but I did a test piece and it's, yeah, it seemed to bend it just fine. So yeah, we'll chuck this in the bender, and hopefully I can remember which way to bend things. Yeah, should be pretty straightforward, I think. Actually, I might go ahead and drill these holes first because I think it'll be easier when it's flat. So yeah, I'll go ahead and do that and then put it in the bender. this piece is a lot wider than this one. Having a bit of trouble. And also my bench top is coming up. Starting to go. Not too bad. I guess that's the trouble with these like cheap tools. You reef on them, you don't want them to break and blow up in your face. So, but yeah, that kind of worked there. Yeah, that sort of worked. Definitely need to go a little more. Yeah, maybe I'll just try and clamp this to the bench or something with this piece of metal and just push it further, but I'll bend up this last tab here and should be good to go. I think it'll go like that. Well, seems like that one went a little bit further, so maybe I can go past 90. I'll have to give that another shot. I think maybe because I did it the other way. Manifold like that. I think it can go back a little bit more. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. I guess bending it by hand gives it kind of a little bit more of a radius, but I'm just hoping that, I know, the angle out of here and then into the union fittings is not too weird where it kind of puts pressure on these and causes them to leak. But I think it should be all right. I think I can come out a little bit and then go like that, and then I'll have the wiring harness for this come out through the middle. I got a little plug that goes in a desk. Stick the wire through there and plug it in there, and obviously flip that around. But no, I think this will work. I did forget to drill the holes for the manifold in that, but shoot. Anyways. Alright guys, so everything is secured to the cargo mat thing here. See, I just ran 4 of those screws down into the bottom. I guess if you are going to use this, this piece, or the pieces that fold up, are actually just sort of plastic, and this in the middle is that Alumilite panel, I think is what it is. And then yeah, on here, the little tab, I just ran a rib nut through there, M5, and yeah, that sits there. So I'll just need to figure out where I want to put the drain hose. I guess one thing to note, I don't know if I touched on this earlier, is that kind of where, I guess in this area and in this area, are those metal covers. So it does make it a little bit tricky to sort of run things up and underneath, unless you want to drill holes in this thing or try to, you know, fish wires through here, which is kind of hard to do because you can't really see under there when the panel is in. So yeah, that's just one thing to note. And yeah, you definitely don't want to be drilling into this with it in the car, because you might yeah, drill through this as well and hit something that's important. So yeah, that's kind of how it sits there. Another thing is that the way that I have this set up is, it might be a little bit tricky to get into the car just because this needs to fold to sort of fit. I think with the back seats down and the, you know, that much of a fold, I think I should be able to sort of wiggle it in there. But another thing to note if you're going to sort of mount it in this orientation, I guess. So actually, I think this will be pretty easy to run these, or this drain hose, and actually the wiring for the compressor. It's because if you lift this up, you can see there's a bit of a gap there between the metal panel and where this thing sits. So it's about an inch there where there's free space. So I think I'm just gonna drill a hole here, and I think I'll actually need 2. Actually, I think just 1. Oh wait, I will need 2 holes. Yeah, I'll just drill them in the side here, just within an inch from the edge. And then I'll do the same for those wires there, and run them through a grommet, and it should look nice and hidden. You shouldn't really be able to see anything going on back there. So yeah, should be pretty good. Perfect. Little desk plug for wires. This cap fits on there, and then I'll have the main wire for the manifold coming through here, so should be pretty good. So it looks like we just missed it. Missed that metal cover under there. I don't know if you can hear that, but yeah, that's gonna work out well. So I'll show you what this is supposed to look like here. So this guy just fits through there. Pop that in the hole. And plug it in like that. So that can go like that. And I did drill a little hole in there for a zip tie just to hold that down a little bit tighter. This thing is a little bit loose, so I might need to just put some tape or something around that just to make that make this plastic bit a little bit thicker. But no, I think that looks pretty damn good. So I'll go around the back here and I'll show you what I did with the lines. So I hope this isn't too bent to sort of put pressure on these push to connect fittings, but yeah, sort of loop that around so it wasn't too bad. So that goes in like that. And then I've got the this line that goes to it comes out of the water separator, and it's going to go under and then into the row of fittings and then into the manifold. And then the other line there is just the drain for the water. But yeah, it's definitely definitely coming together. I think it's going to look not going to look that bad, honestly. I think it'll be a nice, clean sort of setup. So yeah, and I'm honestly just winging this, and it seems to be coming together. So yeah, looking forward to getting these fittings in, which is I don't know, for whatever reason I always have a huge problem or a hard time getting a bunch of holes drilled in a straight line and evenly spaced. So I'm kind of stressing about that, but yeah, I think if I just, I don't know, take my time here and draw a line, match this angle, sort of measure it out evenly, and space it out with the fittings here, it shouldn't be too bad. But one thing I did sort of play around with and try to fiddle with was getting the lines to come out of the manifold and not be under too much strain to cause a leak, just sort of like the water separator there. So yeah, they might have to come out and then around. I did sort of think of the idea of having it come out and curling around and then dropping straight in. It seemed to relieve a lot of pressure off the fittings, but yeah, we'll see if I can sort of get that to look half decent. Alright guys, so got the fittings in. They actually line up pretty nicely and nice and tight. The good thing about these quick connect fittings from New Line, which, yeah, that's the part number there and all the info. These actually have a ton of bite, so you push them in and you think they've bottomed out, and then you push them in a little bit more, and then there's a nice sort of click feeling. So these are super solid, and this is kind of where the strain is, and with the bend in this, it sort of forces it into this fitting, which these ones that are just the standard ones that come in the manifold are not great. So I think yeah, that's a good good sort of compromise there, and a good shape. It sort of forces that into these quick connects there. So basically what's left to do on this now is just put it back in the car, hook it all up, and make sure that none of these fittings leak. And then I'll tear everything down, and I'll give the tank a good polish, and I'll give this metal piece a good polish, and then that will finally be it. But overall, super basic little project here. Definitely don't have to be as elaborate. I mean, this isn't really that elaborate. This bracket here, you could just sort of mount that flat and have these sort of come out. Yeah, this was a good call on this, just using the factory cargo tray thing. Yeah, really liking how this is turning out. So I'll get this in the car, hook it all up, and see if I've got any leaks anywhere. So I went through and tested the system. It's fully pressurized to 150 psi, which is what I've got this set to, and sprayed some soapy water on all the fittings, and we're good, no leaks. So yeah, definitely a good sign. And it's been about I don't know, 5-10 minutes and no loss in pressure, so lines underneath aren't leaking either. Yeah, pretty stoked on how this turned out. Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna tuck that in like that. So yeah, next step is to polish all this stuff and have it looking nice and tidy, and then that's pretty well it. Well guys, there you have it. The finished product, all cleaned up and nice and shiny. Yeah, I'm pretty stoked on how this turned out. There's no leaks, everything works. This is actually nice and quiet on the platform there. One thing I did have to do, I might as well just show you here. It's a little bit ghetto, but oh, actually I can't because the seat's up. Normally the spare tire fits under here, and then there's a foam piece in it that has your jack and whatnot. But obviously that's not in there because I've got lines and stuff. So what I did have to do is just, I hollowed out a piece of wood that the bolt for the spare tire could fit into, and then screw down. So there's actually something here that supports the middle of this thing. Yeah, hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, I just made a support in here that mounts to where the spare tire hold down is. But yeah, pretty stoked on this. Definitely feel free to take some inspiration from this if you want. And it wasn't really an exact how-to, but yeah, definitely feel free to reach out and ask me any questions that you might have on things that I might have not covered in detail. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So thanks for watching.